YouTube, what's going on? We're back for another full cut demonstration. You're watching ZoTheBarber561, and today we're doing a low taper fade on my client Isaiah. I believe he's a computer engineer. Shouts out to Isaiah for allowing me to use you as a model. But gonna get right to it. We're going in with our wall metallic magic clips, and I have my #1 guard on with it closed. And we're just creating an even, smooth canvas, a good foundation to work on. And when you get around that back area, don't be intimidated by the indentation in the hair from the do-rag. Don't be scared to go ahead and attack that do-rag line. Just make sure you got a comb. Make sure you're continuing to stretch the hair out on the scalp so you can see exactly what you're working with. Then I go in with my wall retro T-cut. Those trimmers are good for me to use on my ball lines. Got the blade modified, but they balled out pretty good, and keeps me from getting wear and tear on my trimmers that I use the most. So it's always good to have an extra pair of trimmers just to get some of that extra work done with, so you won't really have to use your main hitters for balding and just clean up work. Then I do the line up on the neck. I use my gold FX trimmers. Those skeletons, man, they're great for getting around the ear. I haven't really found a better trimmer that navigates better around that ear. Gives a sharp, crispy line. I mean, I'm in love with the cordless wall detailer, though, man. Oh my God, I'm in love with those, man. I love the line up, the top line, like the forehead area and the side vertical bars, the C cup. Man, when I tell you that wall cordless detailer, it hit those C cups like no other, man. I'm telling you, especially if you got the blade modified. Okay, so I brought the camera in a little bit closer for you guys to see the technique that I use when I'm attacking most of my fades. I'm going in at bottom with my cordless Andis Masters, but I'm using my 0 guard closed. I set my guideline about 1/2 inch. I know most of the time you will use no guard with the lever all the way open to set your bottom guideline, but I found it easier for me personally to just go in with that 0. If I'm using walls, I'll go in with the 1/2 guard, and then when I blend in the bottom ball line at the end of my fade, it's much easier for me to go in with no guard and just open and close the lever, as opposed to just setting the guideline in with no guard, lever open. So I mean, you guys could try it out. I mean, if you don't like it, I mean, hey, so be it. I mean, barbering is all about using what works best for you. You can't really just model your craft around just one specific barber. Learn as much as you can from whoever is humble enough and willing to feed you with information. Just be unique, man, with your work, and just be hungry. I do want to throw one thing in there real quick. One thing that kind of hurt me when I was working in a barbershop for 2 years before I went back to school. I was very big on being a perfectionist, man, and it added so much time onto my cuts. So my advice would be to, man, just trust yourself, man. Go through the whole cut. I mean, allow your eyes some time to readjust and come back to a part. Never just get stuck and focus in on one part of a cut for too long, because you can not only mess it up and then spend more time having to fix that, but it just adds a lot of stress onto the haircut that doesn't have to be there, man. Just trust yourself. I mean, nobody knows how your cut is gonna turn out but you. I mean, forget what everybody else is saying. Don't be worried about what walk-ins or, I mean, just people in the shop chilling. Don't be worried about what they have to say. Trust your work, and you know what that end result will be, so just deliver. And on my side taper, I go in with no guard, and I mean, I cut them up pretty often, so I don't really have to go in and really do tedious work when he comes in. Pretty much on the sides, I go in with no guard, close, and I open it up and flick it out. If it's still bulky towards the top, I go in with my one guard, open and close, and I flick that out. Just remember, flick at the top of the hairs. Don't dig. Don't dig. Get digging out of your mind. I know everybody want to look pretty, or they want to have that perfect motion, but don't dig. You're only going to push the guideline up higher and higher. Learn how to just flick at the hairs that you want to hit. Look at the imaginary line. Look at the boat. Find the line of demarcation and just flick at it. For that front lineup, I go in with my cordless wall detailer. Man, guaranteed to give you the sharpness, the preciseness, I mean, even if you got the blade set right, man, it'll give you that ash line, really. Without even using the pencil, you'll start to see an ash line, man. These clippers are really hitters, guaranteed. And man, I'm a very light tapper. I like to, one thing I learned, for one, you have to clean up the hairs around the line. Don't leave extra hairs. Make sure you look over the client's line and make sure you knock away all of the scraggly hairs that are hanging over, even the ones that are curled up and a little bit longer than the rest of the hair. Comb it out, flick it off. Do whatever you need to do. Cut it off with scissors, with shears, flick it off with your clippers, whatever you have to do. Remove away the extra hair that will be brushed back over the line and then mess up a crispy line. And then from there, I tap the line in, man. I don't push, I don't hold it down, I don't press down. I just trust the line will form over time. I mean, you have to trust the clippers. Let the clippers do what you paid the money for them to do. Tap at the line, and eventually you will really start to see a sharp, precise line show up. And then you won't really stress the client's skin. You won't irritate them. Some client's skin is thicker. Some client's skin is thinner than others. So you really have to be careful. So try to use the safest technique as possible. Don't get used to cutting a client with thick skin and you pressing down on them. Don't think that it's going to work on every client. Use what works and use what's safe. Use what's going to keep clients in your chair and what's going to keep them comfortable. And we're going to use the same steps on this side of the taper. Just going to go in with those cordless masters, go in with no guard, flick out that bottom line, and then we're gonna work up into our fade. And remember, if it's still bulky, grab that number 1 guard, close it, open it, flick out the bottom line, flick out the bolt. I mean, depending on what guard you use to cut down the initial, the length of the cut, I use the 1 close. So to knock out the bulk at the top, I'm using that 1 guard. And I'm opening, closing, and flicking it out. And we're going back to the middle of the forehead and creating a straight line across to finish up the other side of the line up. And we're gonna go in, we're gonna tap in that line, man. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Just watch how I tap it in. I'm not forcing the line in. I'm being patient with it, being very light and very easy with my hands. I'm coming over the top of the hairs and lightly touching down, removing the hairs that are hanging over. Just look at the natural lineup of your client. Just step back, take a good look at it, line it up, visualize it. The haircut will pretty much reveal itself to you if you really just sit back, relax, and take a good look at your client's natural growth pattern. I use the same technique down on the beard line up. Just lightly tap it in because I'm coming behind the line up at the end with my Barber Magic pencil, and I lightly apply the pencil as well. I don't want a thick, harsh line that I really can't blend out with my liners at the end. So, I mean, as you can see, the cut is all natural. I do apply enhancements at the end, but I mean, really, if I never told you that I did, or if I never showed you that I applied enhancements, you really wouldn't see it. I only apply enhancements when clients ask for them. I mean, hey, a lot of people like them, and it's extra money. It's an extra service that you can charge for. So, I mean, I don't mind applying enhancements at all, but this was a very precise, symmetrical cut. I love it, man. Good client, great grade of hair. Just an easy guy to work with, man, and this cut turned out exactly how I'd expected it would. Consistency is the key. You'll start seeing yourself get more and more tips, and that's what'll let you know that you're being more and more consistent, and your clients will start to trust you with their head. And man, it's a good place to be in, man. Create a demand for yourself, trust God, love God, keep him first, and let him order your steps. Every man will fall by the wayside if they establish their own righteousness. Your righteousness will not work. It'll leave you stuck at the end. So lean not on your own understanding, but lean on that of the Lord's. You guys check out the end of this cut, man. I'm gonna stop talking right here. At the end of the cut, you will see my Instagram. You can go over, check out some of my work, and just follow me, man, on this journey. My YouTube page will be popping more and more. I'm gonna be adding more and more content. You guys look out. Check my YouTube, check my Instagram, man, at Favor Ain't Fair. FAVOR, the number 8, and TFAIR, at Favor Ain't Fair. stay posted, man. I will be doing another clip away. Another clip away. Yeah, it's time for me to go to bed. Been up editing this video all day, man, and cutting heads too. But it is what it is. But I will be doing another clip or giveaway real soon, so stay tuned, man. ZoTheBarber561. Lock in. God bless.